Welcome to this FSU Fall 2021 semester wrap. I'm Kiara Gaho.
And I'm Julia Mann. We're highlighting some of the issues, events, and people impacting campus life since returning to in-person learning, sports, and activities in August.
Including a look at how students, faculty, and staff embrace the new normal prompted by COVID-19. In early November, it wasn't COVID, but a skyrocketing flu case that prompted a warning from university officials.
Dr. Sally McRory, FSU Provost, called on instructors to not ask students to provide a sick note from the University Health Center. McRory said the center was overwhelmed caring for ill students. Isabel Flores spoke with the director of the health center early in the semester.
It's already been several weeks into the fall semester, and the FSU community is already feeling the brunt of the COVID-19 pandemic. University officials have already put in protocols in order to slow the spread of the virus. Here with us today is Dr. Amy Magnuson, the director at FSU's Health and Wellness Center, and she's going to be able to give us an overview of how the center has joined the fight against COVID-19. Dr. Magnuson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure.
Now, can you start us off by telling some of the biggest obstacles that the Health and Wellness Center has had to face since the start of the pandemic?
Sure. So the first obstacle was probably transitioning a lot of our healthcare services directly to telehealth. And so the telemedicine platform was something we had to do very quickly so that we could still deliver services appropriately to students. Back last year in March, when a lot of students left campus, we still wanted to be able to provide healthcare services. And so that was a massive undertaking, but we managed to do it pretty quickly. And we're able to transition and still maintain some face-to-face visits for students who did remain here in town.
You kind of covered this, but how has the pandemic altered the way that you interact with faculty and students?
Well, it's really been a campus-wide effort. The Health Center has been a partner with emergency management on campus and, of course, FSU administration and a lot of the police department, a lot of different departments on campus where we've had to kind of collaborate and work together to develop different protocols and policies. The students have also been amazing. Our student Stay Healthy Ambassador program, which students came out in full force to help kind of promote healthy lifestyles and help reduce the spread. And so that's been a wonderful addition as well. So it's been a true campus-wide effort.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today, Dr. Magnuson. It's been a pleasure.
As we know, the Seminole spirit was alive and well this fall semester.
Everyone was so excited for the return of football and other activities. Our team of reporters spoke to some of the folks behind the scenes, using their talent and skills to help fans look their best on game day. And we talked to one student who made sure football players were prepared to tackle their opponents at home and on the road.
It takes a lot to run an ACC football program. I'm here at the Moore Athletic Center with equipment manager and freshman Darius Frazier. Darius, how are you feeling today?
I'm good, and yourself?
Great, thank you so much for joining us. So you've played football for about 14 years now, elementary through high school, and what has being a player taught you about your position now as an equipment manager? Like, how has that prepared you?
Being a player has taught me a brotherhood, and as an equipment manager, we need to have a brotherhood to make sure the program runs smoothly.
Right, absolutely. And you're also an exercise physiology major and aspiring neurosurgeon, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
So how is being an equipment manager for FSU, how is that preparing you for your future career?
Being an equipment manager it helps me stay connected to the trainers and the doctors and stuff, and basically watch them and learn.
Right, and what have you learned so far about the relationship between college football and personal health?
There's a bunch of risk involving college football, which is why we have doctors and trainers, so this will help. Basically, me going into this field will help build that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, speaking of personal health, you've talked about how you've suffered multiple concussions and how that has kind of put you in a place where you want to do neurosurgery as a professional career. So how do you see yourself being a neurosurgeon changing the game of professional football down the line?
Just studying more, researching more about concussions and stuff, so yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Darius. We hope to see you on the field for the next game. For Fall Semester Wrap, this is Haley Seibert.
FSU game day attire has become a unique part of our football culture, and students are taking advantage of this through their creative abilities. Here to speak with us is co-founder of FSU game day merchandise company called JL Creations. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you for having me, Lexi.
Of course. So what exactly is JL Creations?
So JL Creations is a business that I started with one of my really close friends, Liz Ramirez, and we just basically sell game day apparel as well as just like casual attire for like everyday wear.
And what inspired you to start JL Creations?
So actually it started off like as a joke because Liz and I were talking about how we don't really have that much apparel to wear like on game days, and just like how we wanted to start a business for sorority apparel as well for like Big Little and stuff like that. So then we just started that.
That is so awesome. And what tools do you use to create all these clothing materials?
So we actually use a Cricut, and it's kind of more complicated than it seems. We thought it would be a lot easier, but we have gotten the hang of it. And then we use an iron to transfer on all the like designs onto the clothes we got. And then we use like tweezers and stuff to like perfect, and just that's pretty much it.
That is so awesome. And what kind of clothes do you guys carry?
So we carry like all types of apparel. We have socks. We have sweat sets like these that we can like customize to like whatever the customer would like. And then we also have like t-shirt type tops like this one. We also do like custom designs, so like we can do like instead of like state, we can also do like a sorority or something like that, or like whatever you'd like it to say.
That is so awesome. Like well, this is just one example of how students are using their creativity to generate income and enhance the game day culture here at Florida State University. For more information about JL Creations, you can message them on Instagram at jl.creations with 2 S's. For the semester wrap, I'm Lexi Malone.
Hello, I'm Amorie Barton. As vaccines roll out and life on campus returns to normal, FSU student entertainment organization Club Down Under has returned, offering a variety of free events for students to enjoy. Landis Green is typically a peaceful patch of greenery in the center of campus, but a few times a year, Club Down Under transforms it into a fun festival ground. During the month of October, Club Down Under hosted its annual Haunted Harvest Festival that provided students with fair rides, music, a variety of food, and merch for free. They followed this up in December with their Chilly Winter Wonderland Festival, also on Landis Green. For students who aren't into the fair life, CDU also hosts a variety of concerts headlined by major music artists. This semester alone, they held concerts by artists like Dayglow, Coin, and BK the Rula. To gain entry, FSU students needed to show their FSU ID at the door. Club Down Under plans to host even more events like this in the spring semester. For upcoming Club Down Under events, make sure to check them out on their social media at Club Down Under. I'm Amorie Barton for Campus Notes.
Thanks, Amorie. In these next few segments, students share more about what it was like to resume to some of the well-known and not so well-known activities around campus this semester.
I'm Ban Habash with a segment of Campus Notes that is very personal to me. The Arab Student Union is back and better than ever after our 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic. Members of ASU have taken the initiative to restart the organization and have been sponsoring on-campus events, off-campus fundraisers, and many informative meetings. The goal of the Arab Student Union is to ensure that every Arab on campus has a home away from home, which is why throughout this semester, ASU held 3 general body meetings, a game night, a movie night, and 2 share-at-night fundraisers. Not only that, but we also tabled at the International Coffee Hour at the Globe hosted by the Middle East Center at FSU. Through these events, we have grown the membership roster, and a plethora of Arabs and non-Arabs have joined ASU to share the culture and community. As the president of the Arab Student Union, it's important to make sure that every Arab feels like they have a place on this inclusive campus. To stay in the know about upcoming events and announcements, please follow the ASU Instagram at ASUFSU. I'm Ban Habash for Campus Notes.
Scuba diving is essential to Florida culture, tourism, and recreation, but Tallahassee isn't exactly a beachfront location. A group of FSU students are staying in touch with their passion for the ocean and its inhabitants by being active in the Seminole Scuba Club. I'm here with President Olivia Kalari to get an insight into her contributions to the club. So Olivia, how did you hear about the Seminole Scuba Club?
It's a funny story. I was looking to get involved on campus, and I actually used Knoll Central, which is a great resource, and was just searching for some clubs, and then I saw Scuba Club, and I thought, wow, this is crazy. I didn't know that we did this in Tallahassee. So I read the meeting date and then attended, and here I am.
Awesome. And so how did your involvement grow into becoming president?
So I joined in freshman year of fall, and by the spring they posted, it was right after COVID had hit, and they posted leadership positions, and I thought, hey, why don't I try it? The only options were social media and fundraising or vice president. Social media and fundraising aren't my forte, so I stuck with vice president, and I got it, and worked my way up to president.
Awesome, congratulations.
Thank you.
And so what does it entail to be a member of the scuba club? Like, how do you guys go out on dives, and just how does it work really?
Yeah, so a lot of people think that we certify throughout the club. That's not the case. We encourage all members, certified or not, to come out. If you're certified, you're great. You just send in your paperwork, you're ready to go on the first dive. If not, we have ways for you to get certified. We have like little connections and whatnot. But we have stuck to diving in the springs in Tallahassee for this semester, but next semester we're going out to Panama City Beach, doing a charter there. Our spring break trip is going to be somewhere in the Bahamas. So we definitely do a little bit of exploring with the club.
That is so exciting. Mm-hmm. And so can you tell us a funny scuba memory that you have, or your most fun, best story?
Yes, actually, recently we just did our underwater pumpkin carving dive. So we hollow out pumpkins, take them underwater, and then make them do a pumpkin carving. I couldn't participate because I was sick, so I was the judge of the pumpkins, and wow, we just have some really creative scuba divers. There was a pumpkin that looked like a butt, and they carved it accordingly.
That's amazing.
So it was amazing. It was a great time.
Definitely creativity coming together with your passion, I'm sure. It's very exciting.
It was
well,
awesome.
It is so great to see a group of students coming together over a shared love and strong leadership. Olivia, it was so great talking to you today. And if you want to keep up with the Seminole Scuba Club activities, trips, and meetings, visit their Instagram at Seminole Scuba Club for more.
I'm Cesarae Jensen. Hispanic Heritage Month began in 1968 to celebrate the culture, histories, and achievements of Hispanic Americans. On October 8th, Hispanic Heritage Month was celebrated at the 3rd annual Latinx Cultural Celebration. Seminoles got to enjoy food, music, and activities along Legacy Walk. 2021 year's theme's purpose was to illustrate the important contributions of Afro-Latinx and Indigenous students, faculty, and staff. For more information of this block party style celebration, visit the Hispanic and Latinx Student Union.
The FSU Police Department is taking steps to combat sexual assault cases on campus and around Tallahassee. Here with me today is Lieutenant John Baker to talk about the Rape Aggression Defense Program, more commonly known as RAD. Lieutenant Baker, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
So what is the overall mission of the RAD program?
We want to give women resources, give them the viable options to defend themselves at any time that they could be potentially attacked. So not only do we want to give them resources, self-defense resources throughout the RAD program, we also give them things to think about to prevent from being attacked, right? So, things to look out for, ways to, prevent that overall attack that could potentially happen, things that just people may not ever think about, so we do a lot of that too.
Okay, and there is a common mindset in these situations that won't happen to me. Mm-hmm. What would you say to convince someone that it is still important for women to have a level of self-defense, even if they don't consider themselves at risk?
So many times we get women in our self-defense program who they thought that, but it did happen to them. Mm-hmm. And now they're here, now they're in our program, hoping, preparing for it to not happen again, right? So we want our women in our communities, all of our communities, again, and I'm not just talking about the FSU community, I'm talking about communities worldwide. We want our women to know that it can happen, and it does happen. Mm-hmm. We know statistically, on a college campus, if we just talk about college campus, 1 in 3 women are going to experience this. So statistically, it's very, 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 very possible that it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So we want our women to know to come through. Don't come through after it happens. Mm-hmm. Come through before it happens so that you can be prepared when it does happen.
Lovely. Lieutenant Baker, thank you for joining us. For Fall Semester Wrap, I'm Melissa Day.
I'm Ava Borchuck. FSU has recently expanded an art therapy program in collaboration with the Florida Department of Corrections. The program offers inmates the opportunity to earn their general education degrees. The program has been praised for allowing inmates the chance to address their emotional and mental health needs. The expanded 3-year contract nearly doubles the program's sizing by increasing staffing and access to which prisons can utilize the program. Visit news.fsu.edu for details. I'm Ava Borchuck for Campus Notes.
During FSU's homecoming week, over 1,500 Knowles and Rattlers packed into the Donald L. Tucker Center for the FSU Black Student Union's annual Bridge the Gap pep rally. After 19 months away due to the pandemic, on October 20th, students from both universities were eager to take part in continuing the tradition. The Bridge the Gap pep rally prides itself on bringing together Florida State and Florida A&M students for an evening of music, dancing, and fun. The pep rally featured performances by the Marching Chiefs, King's Dance Team, Strikers Dance Troupe, and more. FSU student hosts Devadrick Ponder and Ettany Holloway were accompanied by FAMU students Morgan Pinnock and Cesarae Clark to re-energize the crowd throughout the event. After a successful return, the Bridge the Gap pep rally has already been scheduled for next fall. Until then, follow the Black Student Union for more information on their upcoming events. I'm Erica LaFloria for Posted.
The Tallahassee music scene is ripe with local bands that play music of all different genres. Here to speak with us today is the lead singer of local band Not Milk, Kyle Hall. Welcome. So what kind of music does your band play?
I would probably describe it as alternative emo is probably the word I'd use to describe it.
Okay. And how did your band form?
Well, yeah, me and my friend Davis met at FSU through a club and decided that we wanted to make music together. And so then we found a drummer in the same club, and then my roommate joined us and played bass. And so, yeah, that's how we started.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about what your writing process is like?
Yeah, so I write the lyrics, and most of the time there's one thing on my mind, and so I write about that one thing and try to get ideas from different artists that inspire me, and then one of us will bring a guitar riff or a drum part to practice, and then we kind of run with it and put the song together that way.
What do you like to write about lyrically?
A lot about my faith. It's usually about my faith or girls, the two main things in my life.
So what do you think sets your band apart from other local bands in Tallahassee?
I would say what I really like about Not Milk is it's a band of friends. It's not guys who met on a Facebook page or something like that, but we became good friends first, and then we make music past that. So it makes the writing process really, really fun. It makes playing shows super fun, and we share a lot of ideas, and we don't really butt heads. So it's just a really super fun experience.
What can listeners expect in the future from Not Milk?
Yeah, well, we're trying to really make this year a good year for us. So we want to play a bunch more shows, maybe go on a little tour, and hopefully release like a full-length album. So I guess keep on the lookout for that.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us about Not Milk. Not Milk released their debut EP in September, and it's called For War and For Coming and Going. You can listen to it on all streaming platforms. To keep up with Not Milk shows and future music releases, you can follow their Instagram at NotMilkFL. For the fall semester wrap, I'm Tabitha Taylor.
Welcome to Campus Notes. I'm Daily Mann, and I'm here today to talk with you about FSU international programs. After the pandemic hit globally, FSU international programs canceled nearly all programs for student and teacher safety. However, now that vaccines have been distributed, FSU international programs is ready to rock and roll once again. Applications for summer 2022 programs opened on October 10th, and FSU IP has not stopped there. They have also been holding giveaways for potential abroad students, and beyond that, FSU international programs also held a Study Abroad Week from October 18th to October 22nd, which included several virtual events, trivia night, and a free t-shirt for those who walked with FSU IP in the homecoming parade. It is also not too late to apply to study and go abroad. Any students interested can apply today at international.fsu.edu or check FSU International programs out on Instagram at FSU IP. I'm Daily Mann. Thanks for watching Campus Notes.
As you can see at FSU, students are encouraged to explore their talents and passions and use their skills to help others in the community. all while earning their degrees.
We want to introduce to you some of the savvy Seminoles who have started their own businesses, and one Seminole who has earned a license to fly a plane before she arrived on campus.
Students at Florida State University have continuously excelled in fields ranging from medicine to law to film. Here to speak with us today is licensed pilot Kennedy White. Kennedy, so you earned your licensed pilot at the age of 18. What inspired you to pursue such an endeavor at such a young age?
I'd say my main inspiration was my father. He was a fighter pilot in the Navy for a number of years, and now he's a captain at American Airlines. So I grew up with aviation all around me, and him and I have always been very close, so he introduced it to me at a very young age.
Cool. And what was the regiment and the training like?
It was slightly different for me than it was for most of the other students in my class, just because I was a high school student at the time. So I took a ground class that was in more of a traditional classroom setting, and I did my flight hours just whenever I could fit them in, so mostly after class or sometimes even before school.
Cool. And what was it like to fly for the first time on your own?
It was definitely a little bit nerve-wracking. I think probably the scariest part for me was just sitting there waiting for clearance, not having my flight instructor next to me, sitting there kind of going through the motions. But once I got off the ground, I definitely felt safer and more confident.
Cool, cool. And so this is a field often dominated by men. How has your experience as a woman helped shape your viewpoint?
Well, I think it's definitely kept me on my toes. I felt like I had to prove myself and that I had to work harder than everybody else just to be taken seriously in the field. So that was definitely something I had to take into account.
Awesome. And how has this experience helped form the way you view future endeavors that you may pursue?
It helped me to realize my own capability. So that's something that I take with me with everything I do now. Just knowing that I was capable of such a thing at a young age has helped me realize that I can do anything I put my mind to.
Awesome. And one last thing, what advice do you have for any aspiring young girls who would like to pursue a field dominated by men?
I would advise them to find a female mentor. I think one of the main things that helped me was that I had a female flight instructor. My first flight instructor was a woman. And so since she went through all the same training that I did, and also most of her class was men, so she knew what I was going through, and we were able to relate to each other. So that was very helpful.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Kennedy, thank you so much for having us here today. Hopefully you've inspired some students here at FSU to aim high and pursue their goals. For the semester wrap, I'm Daniel Moreno.
I'm Gabriela Rodriguez, and this campus note is about the big event. Every spring semester, students from FSU, FAMU, and TCC come together to host one of the largest service projects organized by students in the nation. This year's big event will take place on February 27th and will last all day. The goal is to make as much as a difference in the Tallahassee community as possible. Our volunteers will be planting trees, planting gardens, painting buildings, fixing potholes, collecting monetary donations, clothing donations, and food donations, all for the city of Tallahassee. The executive board of the big event has taken the time to ensure that participants follow COVID safety guidelines and protocols. The big event expects at least 1,000 volunteers that'll all include students, staff members, faculty, and all sorts of members of the Tallahassee community. This event only takes place once a year, so make sure you sign up in time and give back to our community. Sign-ups and donations for the event are being collected at thebigevent.fsu.edu. I'm Gabriela Rodriguez for Campus Notes.
Hi, my name is Luke Reosti. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, pet adoptions have significantly increased in the city of Tallahassee, specifically for man's best friend, dogs. As a result of those who run the shelters, they report that dog euthanasias are down 43% and dog adoption rates are up 73%. While dogs come with many responsibilities, they have become a beacon of hope for students at FSU, providing companionship, stability during such uncertain times. Dogs can also be emotional support systems and mental health interventions for many students without a purpose. Not only that, but dogs can promote habits like exercise and positive social interactions with stress and crisis management. All around, these four-legged companions can change the lives of many people out there looking for something to keep them motivated. But it's important to offer the proper support to your furry friend through proper veterinary checkups, grooming visits, and regular physical activity. At FSU, there are many dog-friendly places that you could take your pet, such as Landis or Langford Greens. My name is Luke Reosti for Campus Notes.
Students in the Jim Moran College of Entrepreneurship have been hard at work this year growing and developing businesses of their own. With me today is Nate Russell, a senior in the program. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me about your company. What is Traveling Bard?
Yeah, so Traveling Bard Coffee is a small batch craft roaster that provides eco-conscious and ethically traded coffee. What I mean by that is that every product we use within the business is environmentally friendly, and all of our coffee is sourced directly from the farmer.
Nice, cool. And what do you love about working in coffee?
Coffee's just, it's the first love since Starbucks. I've always loved the smell of coffee. Coffee gets me up in the morning. And the community surrounded by coffee is very tight, and it's a great community. Cool.
And what's the industry like here in Tallahassee? What's the business like?
Yeah, the industry here is actually pretty, some people describe it as oversaturated. There are a lot of coffee companies, but from what I've seen and what I've experienced, they're all super friendly with each other. They all love collaborating and cooperating with each other from what I've experienced, and it's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, and being in the College of Entrepreneurship at FSU, what were some of the ways that program helped you kind of get going over the past year? What's been some ways they've helped you?
Yeah, they've been super helpful. Most people within the school are entrepreneurs themselves. One of them is actually the, I believe, former CEO of Red Eye, Dr. Mark McNeese. So he's been very helpful since he also has a eco-conscious, environmentally friendly coffee business, which is Red Eye Coffee in Tallahassee, Florida. So being able to talk with him about his experiences and the way that he's been brought up has been super helpful.
Nice. And I mean, starting a business over in COVID, have there been any hardships or difficulties with growing your business in the past year?
Yeah, definitely. It's been tough. This was something that I thought about prior to COVID, and then once COVID hit, it definitely kind of hurt mentally, just because that was where I started thinking that I wouldn't be able to do something like this. But then about halfway through, I started sort of developing a business plan for the coffee company, which allowed me to start in that fall of 2020.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, you have some exciting things coming up. What are some of your goals for the coming year?
Yeah, for sure. Some of the main goals within the coming year would definitely be attending a lot of pop-up shops as well as farmers markets and getting the product out there. This is it's called a cottage food business, which means that I can only sell within the state of Florida under those laws. So I'll be attending a lot of those pop-up shops, and hopefully eventually I can start branching that out to other states.
Awesome. Well, this is just one of the many success stories resulting from FSU's entrepreneurship school and the determination of one young business owner. Good luck to you, Nate. I'm Jackson Alley for this segment of Semester Wrap.
We're doing pretty amazing things at Florida State.
And while the tradition of excellence continues, we're out of time for this edition of the Semester Wrap. I'm Julia Mann.
And I'm Kiara Gaho. On behalf of the fall semester and interviewing and hosting at FSU, thanks for watching.
Thank you.